We are here inside the Fox 59 studio with Bruce Martin, Speed Sport Magazine. Always gracious to give us plenty of his time throughout May and, of course, leading up to May. Bruce, we're not crowning an Indy 500 champion after yesterday's test, but nevertheless, there are names up there that you expect to see, like a Scott Dixon, Takuma Sato, and some names that are a little bit of a surprise. We saw guys like a Stephen Wilson pretty high up on the board. So what could you glean from that test on Thursday out at the Speedway?
Well, what I gleaned was the month of May actually begins in the middle of April. And also, I need to remind everybody, this is a test.
Right.
It's only a test. I asked Kyle Moyer of Team Penske, the IndyCar general manager, today about Joseph Newgarden being the fastest, and he kind of laughed and said, well, Joseph was the fastest at last year's test, too. You saw what happened to us in the race. There's a lot of time that's going to change what we saw, but it's a great start, especially with the new aerodynamic rules that were tried yesterday that IndyCar is hoping will allow the cars to race closer together and pass easier.
We have a champion who is back in the field this year, Ryan Hunter-Reay, after sitting out the prior year. Obviously, things happened to get him in a car that he likes, because that was what he said last year was keeping him out of the field. So what is it that was appealing to him to jump back in the field this year and see if Captain America can get his second 500?
I think he really likes the effort that Dennis Reinbold's team does at Dreyer and Reinbold Racing, because they're an Indy 500 only team. They run in the Global Rallycross as their full-time duties, but he said he walked into that shop and was stunned with all of the talent that is on that team. Also at the Dreyer and Reinbold race shops, they've redone everything like it's the actual garages in Gasoline Alley at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He was very impressed when he walked in there. I'm telling you, he looked pretty good yesterday. He's in a fast Chevrolet, and I really think he could be a very good contender for the victory in the Indianapolis 500.
Well, Bruce, we've seen one oval race this year already down in Texas. It was a thrilling race, a lot of passing, a great battle up at the front. I obviously realize that it's a different track than here in Indy, but what can we learn from oval racing with this year's package? Anything that could maybe translate over to here?
They made some of the same changes at Texas Motor Speedway with the aerodynamic package that they used in that race that they're going to use at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's a combination of barge boards, wicker bills, strakes. That's all technical.
But it matters.
Yes. Technical verbiage, but it works. And what it does is it creates a little more drag, creates much more front downforce, which really helps the cars close up on each other and should make for a more entertaining race than we've seen here in the last couple of years. Although the last couple of years have been pretty good here.
Through these first couple weeks, we've seen some pretty strong cars from Andretti, and to be fair, they seem to always be strong on street courses. We've seen a couple of them, but when they stay out of their own way, Andretti has been pretty solid this year. That's at least caught my eye early in this season.
It's a young team, especially when a 23-year-old is the elder statesman on the team, Colton Herta. I got to tell you, Kyle Kirkwood, Michael Andretti called him the real deal. He really is the real deal. He proved that last week in the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. That's a guy I expect to see in victory lane a few more times in 2023.
And he was in the top 5 of that test this week here in Indy 2. Bruce Martin of Speed Sport, always gracious enough to give his time throughout the month of May. We'll be right back here on Sports Overtime.